He's got a lot more experience. They've prepared in very, very different ways. She's had a whole setup, TV lights, stand-ins for Trump, stand-ins, I'm assuming, also for the debate moderators. He's not doing it. He's doing it a very different way.
Well, and it's sort of typical for Trump. His team is trying to get him to focus and buckle down, get the facts, do whatever. Trump is a gut player. This works to Trump's advantage in one considerable way, which is Kamala Harris has no idea who she'll be facing tomorrow. Donald Trump has debated more than 12 times as a presidential candidate in the past 9 years, but he could still be the Donald Trump who we saw against Joe Biden, relatively restrained and who let Biden stumble into his own mistakes, was a totally different Trump than we saw when he debated Joe Biden 4 years ago, when he was sort of unhinged and chewing the scenery.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris can rehearse all she wants, but she doesn't know which Trump she's going to get.
All right, let's dive into this New York Times Siena College poll, because it does appear to show that the honeymoon is over for Kamala Harris. 61% of voters say they want a major change. Only 25% say Harris represents change. 56% say she's more of the same. How big a problem is that for her?
Can I be annoying about polls very briefly and just say that what this poll says is what the other polls say, which is it's a close race. And any poll that a Democrat is not leading by more than 2 points nationally means they're probably not going to win the Electoral College because of the rightward slant of those 7 states compared to the country as a whole. And I think for Democrats, there was a false hope, an optimism that came in after the switch came on, and she remedied a lot of the problems that Joe Biden had, right? Closed these huge gaps on questions about the economy, questions about the border, et cetera, et cetera. But this has never been an easy race for Kamala Harris to win in these weeks that we've had it. And there's some good news in this for Democrats, which is they're going to have to run like they're losing even when they're ahead, because as Hillary Clinton learned, taking anything for granted, assuming anything, is exactly how you lose to a Republican in the Electoral College.
So what is, I mean, you say there's good news for Democrats in there, because a lot of people, there was a lot of freaking out going on social media by Democrats over the weekend when this poll came out, especially the part where it says more than half the voters say she bears some responsibility for the problems at the border, the same for inflation. It all appeared to show that she was they're not only associating her with President Biden, that she may also be part of what's wrong with the status quo, and everybody wants to get rid of the status quo.
Well, the Democrats who are freaking out ought to respond to that out-freaking by giving Kamala Harris as broad a latitude as possible tomorrow night in that debate to say the things that she needs to say to persuadable voters. What screwed up Joe Biden, I mean, obviously his age was the amplifier for all of his problems. But what screwed up Joe Biden was that he didn't have the trust and confidence of the Democratic base. And they held his feet to the fire on border security, on everything else. He couldn't get any leash from his base, and therefore he governed as a captive to Elizabeth Warren and others.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris needs room to move. She needs room tomorrow night to say in Philadelphia, yeah, I changed my opinion on fracking, and that's because I want the United States to be energy independent. Yeah, I changed my position on the border, and that's because the crisis that we're facing is real, and we need action right now. Situation is different. She needs to say a bunch of stuff that hardcore Democrats and left-wing Democrats aren't going to want to hear. And if they're really freaking out, they need to give her the permission to do it and shut up about it.
Yeah. No, because it's those people in the middle that she needs to win over in the very end. Listen, 28% of the voters in this poll said they need more information about her. Only 9% say they need more information about Trump. The stakes are high, really, for her, I guess, right?
Yes.
Unless Trump goes out there and acts like a complete, tearing up the stage and hitting her.
Think about it this way. Donald Trump is mistrusted and disliked by more Americans than Kamala Harris, but he's still preferred on key policy questions about the economy, about immigration particularly. So Kamala Harris has an advantage, which is people seem to like her more than Trump, and they think she's more honest, and those are good things. but can she go from there to credibility on those issues without losing the favorable aspects that she had?
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.